Hey y'all, I'm over here working again. I'm going to show you ladies that I'm going to install this dishwasher and this rental property that I have, and I bought this used dishwasher here. I've already got it laying over on its side because I was trying to see where it needed to be wired in. And so I went ahead, I should have started filming this earlier, but I just now thought about it. I went ahead and already replaced this, added this piece of pipe in here. All this just, when you buy these traps here, they just simply screw together. You just tighten them down with little rubber washers in there. And this is a piece right here I added so that I can put the dishwasher drain, hook it up to this right here. So I've already put that in. And so what I'm going to do is, I hope y'all could see that. I've got to remember to bring a better camera, or either bring my stick thing to put my camera on. So now what I was doing is I was cutting my cabinet out over here. I already took the two doors off and the drawers out and took part of the slides out. And I'm using my Sawzall. I just changed my blade out and I'm cutting this cabinet out. And I'm going to install the dishwasher right there. And it's so simple, ladies. I mean, just draw a line, aim the blade on there, cut the cabinet out. And then the dishwasher is real simple to install. It just has, let's see if I can get this. This is the drain hose right here. Let's get water in it. See? And the people I got it from, because I bought it used, but they cut this piece off, but I've already gone to Home Depot and bought another little sleeve. I don't know what it's called exactly, to connect this, tighten it down on that little tube coming out of that piece of pipe. So it's going to be real easy. And then just wiring it up. I've already got the wiring. I had to wire in. And you know, you may already have a dishwasher. Maybe you just need to replace your old dishwasher with something, and the wiring's already there. So the first thing you always want to make sure is the power is cut off. Always make sure that you cut the breaker off. And one of the best tools, one of my favorite tools that I have, and I've shown y'all this on some of my other videos, but is this little electrical pin here that you just turn it on. I'm going to show you because this wire under here is still live. So I'm trying to hold this. Okay, so just press a little button on it. It lights up. Let me see if I can get under here. Okay, I hope y'all can see that. See that wire? That's what I'm going to connect, hook up my dishwasher. But see, I'm going to touch this to that black wire right there, and it turns red. That means the wire is hot. It means it has power on it. Don't mess with it. So what I do is I go back to the breaker box because I'm not sure exactly which breaker cuts it off. It's easier if you have somebody to help you so they can, you know, say yes, it's on or it's off. But when you're by yourself, I just go to the breaker box, start switching to 20 amps one at a time, and come back and then check the wire until I know that there's no power to it before I start, you know, trying to mess with it and get electrocuted. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish cutting this cabinet out right here. And then I'll come back and show you. It's real simple just to wire this dishwasher in and hook this little drain up. And then we can just slide that dishwasher in that space that I'm cutting out. And then there's just a couple little brackets up at the top of the dishwasher. You put some screws in to hold it to the top of the cabinet to mount it. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. So I'll be back. Don't go away. Hey y'all. Sorry my light's shining, but I'm back over here. I'm hooking up this dishwasher. I just wanted to show you what I've got done. I went ahead and I've got this right here. I've already plumbed it in. The water line, the drain line going into the sink. I've covered up the open pipe because you don't want the septic tank fumes coming up through your line into the house and breathing that methane gas. So now what I'm doing is I'm wiring this up here. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get back on the floor. I've already this morning cut this cabinet out. I don't know if y'all can see it. I've already cut the cabinet out, and then I put me some pieces of wood down here on the floor so that my dishwasher can sit up on top of that to make it level with the flooring. And so now what I'm doing is right here in the back of the dishwasher. The black is for hot. And you're going to run a neutral to this right here. It's missing the little nut, so I've got to find something to screw down on there to put our ground to. So you're just going to, I've got my wiring here. I've already checked my wiring to make sure the power is off. I cut the breaker off and make sure that it was not hot. So I've separated my wires. I have the white wire, the black, hot, and then ground. So we're going to hook black to black, white to white, and then we're going to put the ground under this screw right here. So I'm going to go ahead and show how to do that. I got me some wing nuts. Let me see if I can figure out how to set this up so that y'all can see. I don't know if I can. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I don't really have a good way to do this. Okay, so here's my drain pipe. I've already got it hooked up. Now I'm going to go ahead and wire these wires together. So we're just going to put the white to white, and you may need a set of dikes or whatever, but you're just going to twist these wires together around each other. This is a copper that I have run to it, and then this dishwasher that's got aluminum wire, and they've started using a lot of that because it's cheaper than the copper. And so I've got me some yellow wing nuts here. Hopefully this will be the right size. If not, I have some red ones. Not wing nuts, but screw nuts. Not screw nuts, wire nuts. Get it right here in a minute. Anyway, this copper wire is really thick. It's hard to twist. I might have to get some dikes and twist them together. Okay, so we'll make sure that the two ends are together. Okay, so I've got the white wired together. Got my yellow wing nut on there. These little wires coming out of the dishwasher, there's not much wire coming out, so it's really hard to work in here. So I'm putting the black hot to hot. Okay. This really needs to go down in that little box, but I don't see. Let's see. I'm thinking it might open. No, I don't think so. Anyway, it looks like it should go down in there. I guess it's okay. What I'm gonna do is wrap some electrical tape around it just to be safe. And so then we're going to take this ground wire and wrap it around this screw right here. And actually, I'm thinking that this screw I need to wire this from the front. Because the screw, this thing should go in behind it. So I'm taking this back apart. So I'm going to set this dishwasher up. I think I need to wire this from the front. So I'm going to flip it over. They're not very heavy. Okay, so yeah, there's a little screw on the front here I can take off. Looks like a star bit. This little box should open up, and electrical should go inside there. Let me see if I can turn this the other way. All right. I don't know why they put those kind of screws in there. It makes it so difficult. How many people actually have that fitting? Or I guess it could be a socket, and I don't have my socket set, figures. Okay, so right here is where we're going to hook in the water line to come into the dishwasher. So I'm going to have to pause this and go out to my truck and see if I can find a little socket that's going to take that screw out, and then we'll open that back up. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I went out and got the right bit. It's actually a star bit. Just going to take it out of my drill here and take this little screw out. And open this box. Should come off. There we go. Alright, so that makes it easier. So let's redo this wiring again, because this little screw right here, and of course it's a Phillips bit, that's what you're going to put your ground under, this green screw. And find what I did with my wiring. Okay, so here we go again. See if I can get this a little bit closer. Alright, I'm going to put black to black, the wire nut. Tighten it down really good. You want them twisted together and tight, so you don't want them pulling apart. White to white. Then change this back out again. Well, you don't want to take the screw all the way out. You just want to pull it up, and then so you can wrap the ground wire around that screw and then tighten it back down. You want it nice and snug around that screw. I'm going to grab my docks real quick so I can tighten it down. So these are dikes, ladies. I just want to tighten this. My hands are so small, it's hard to get my hands around these dikes, but just want to tighten that down. Just going to squeeze it tight around there, and then I'm going to take this screw . Okay, so that's nice and snug around that, so it's not going to pull loose. Well, you know what I did? Duh, I got to take it back apart. Okay, so this is what I did. I always learn this way, the hard way. Take this back out because I'm supposed to run the wiring up through that hole and then into there. Start over. That's what happens when you don't do the same thing all the time. You just forget, and then until you make the mistake, then you have to take it back apart, redo it again. So I have this ground wire really tight around here. Now I'm gonna see if I can pull it loose and get it off. Okay. All right, let's do this again. All right. Next lesson, ladies. First, we're going to put it through this hole in the bottom so it comes in the back, like this. And, okay, now, let's do this again. Okay, here we go. White to white. I'll get it right eventually. So maybe I won't make this mistake if you're doing it, so if you remember this. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I should have been thinking about that. Black to black. All right, now put the ground back on the screw so I can get it back on here. Come on, baby. It's hard when your hands are small. They're really small hands. Of course, I guess that's good if you're trying to get into small space, but it's hard when you're trying to grasp these big old dikes. All right, let's screw this back down. Make sure it's nice and snug so it's not going to pull loose. Okay, now I'm going to wrap some electrical tape. This is black electrical tape. I'm just going to tape around these wire nuts and this wire just to give it just some extra support there so it don't pull loose. And also, you know, if a wire were to pull loose, it wouldn't like spark against the metal or touch some of the other wires. So it's always just a nice precaution to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're doing wrapping the white. Alright, now that's okay. So now we got all the wires in there. I'm going to put this little cover back on. This goes in those little grooves. Put that in there. Okay, that goes back down. Alright, excellent. Okay, now, let me find what I did with that screw. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to put the screw back in on this side. If I can get it to line up. It doesn't want to line up in my hands. It's hard to get down in this little groove. Maybe I can change out the star bit back in. Okay, get in there, baby. Okay, got that? Where everything's wired in. Now the only thing left to do is running the water line in. And I don't have the water line, so I'm going to have to pause and I'm going to have to get that and then come back and show you how to hook that up. I'm back over here working again. I had to go to Home Depot and get some parts to hook this dishwasher up. I'm going to show you the parts that I got. So this is a valve adapter right here that I'm going to attach to the cutoff valve that's under the sink. It's got a place where this part will go into the water line coming out. And this side's going to go out to supply the dishwasher. And you want to hook this up on your hot water side to go to your dishwasher. So I'm going to hook that up, and then let me show you the other things that I bought. This is a universal dishwasher connector. It's a braided line. So I'm going to run this to that connector, then over to the dishwasher. And the people there, you know, like at Home Depot, wherever, they should be able to help you make sure you get the right part. And then I bought an extra line here. It's just and this one kind of has a little swivel, not swivel, but you can bend it to make it work. Because I'm putting in a new sink also. And the piping that's under there is not going to fit exactly like the one that was in there that I took out, because one side of the sink is up higher than the other side of the sink. So I'm going to show you what I got here. Okay, yesterday we hooked up the water line, well, not the, but the drain line to the dishwasher. I don't know if you can see it. And then also hooked up the electricity, and I forgot to turn the power back on before I left, and so my refrigerator was off and all my lunch thawed out in the freezer, so that's not good. But anyway, so the water department's coming over to turn the water on. I've been working on this project for over a year, and I've been trying to avoid paying that water bill every month. So I'm hoping I don't have anywhere that's going to be spraying out or leaking. So I'm trying to get all this plumbing connected up, and hopefully everything's going to be okay and not have any water spewing out anywhere, because we bought this project, or this house, and like I said, I've been working on it for over a year, and we've done a lot of work to it. And the water hasn't been on in this house for a couple of years. I mean, so I really don't know what to expect under. Hopefully we don't have anything major going on. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take loose that water line under the sink and go ahead and put that valve in. And then I will come back on here and show you the finished product. And then I'll show you how I'm going to put the sink in, because I've already pulled the old sink out. And what I did is I just took a razor knife and I cut loose all the caulk he had. It's supposed to be silicone, but whatever he had around here. I disconnected the sink from underneath, and they were real simple because he just had those wing nuts on there, the plastic wing nuts. And then I just pulled the sink out, and then I'm going to put the new one, or it's actually not new, it is a repurposed sink that I bought at a scrapyard that I really like. And I'm going to put it in here. So I'm going to show you that too, so don't go away. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. Went ahead. Let's see if I can get my camera where you can see. Okay, so I went ahead and added this valve. Okay, so this is the cutoff valve right here. Okay, so I took this water line off of it. It was attached here, and I added this piece that I showed you a few minutes ago right here. Okay, and so I hook the water line that goes to the sink back up here, and then right here, I've already got my Teflon tape around this piece here, and I'm going to add my dishwasher water line into, I'm going to run it into right there. Then I'm going to take it out and run it all the way over to that on the dishwasher right there. Then we're going to slide that dishwasher in and mount it in there. Hopefully everything will work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead, pause this for a minute. And it's really hard to try to hold this camera and try to do this. So maybe I can sit it under my cabinet here. See if it'll help. I can sit it under here. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. So what it is, I bought this. This is an 8-foot connector. It's a compression connector. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just screwing it down on here by hand first, and then I'm going to use some pliers to tighten it down really snug, so make sure we don't have a leak. So we just had the water. I just had the water guys come out and they turned the water on, and everything so far is good. I actually got water in the toilets, checked all my cutoffs to make sure I didn't have any leaks. So far so good. If I can get this started on here. This Teflon doesn't want to get it started. Okay, here it goes. And of course I don't have all my right tools that I need. I left one of them at home, so I'm just having to use these. It'd be nice to have an open-end wrench. It'd be a lot easier to put on here if I had an open-end wrench rather than this pair of pliers, but it'll get her done. I'm glad y'all can't smell me because I really stink. I'm all sweaty and stinky. And I do this kind of work and I get all sweaty and stinky, and then I smell like a skunk or something. And then I wash my clothes, but then when I put them back on and I start sweating in them again, that odor just comes out. So I'm always very self-conscious about the smell. But I have these same work clothes I use because I paint in them and weld in them. I do all these different things, and I don't want to just keep ruining more clothes. Okay, so I got that down. I think that's nice and snug. So we're good there. Now I'm going to run this through the cabinet there and move all my stuff out of the way here if I can. And I turned the power back on, so I'm a little nervous about that power being on. It's always best to turn it off. But I had cut my refrigerator off and forgot to turn it back on before I left. So I'm going to pause this because I'm going to have to scoot this over closer so I can reach this line over to connect to this piece right here. So I'll be right back. Okay, something else I want to show you real quick. You want this Teflon tape, and you want to wrap it around the threads of the fitting before you screw down the fitting on top of that. Like right here, let me show you. Okay, see these threads? Let me see if I can get right here. See the threads on there? I'm going to wrap this Teflon around it. And you want to turn it in the same direction that you're putting your fitting on there. Because if you turn it, it's not going to twist it off. But you're going to need that. It helps seal it up so you don't have a leak. Just want to show you that real quick. Be right back. Okay, I have the line hooked up to the back of the dishwasher. So you can see right here. I've already run this braided line in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can set my camera over here somewhere. So I'm going to have to pick this dishwasher up and turn it around and slide it in to the cabinet where I cut it out. And hopefully we can get it all mounted in there. Get this out of the way. There's got to be a better way to do this filming thing. Trying to get my camera situated here where you can see. So I've run into a little bit of a snag. So the person who built this house did not account for a dishwasher. There wasn't a dishwasher here then, so I'm trying to put one in. But so I'd already cut the cabinet out, like, you know, the front of the cabinet. So now I'm looking, because of the floor he has put in, he's got this hardwood or this pine floor. The height of the counter is too low for the dishwasher to fit under there. So now what I'm going to have to do, I was looking at it, it's just going to be, if I can get it in, it's going to be so tight. I'm going to have to cut the front of this apron out on the front all the way up to the countertop, which I don't like doing because it takes all the support away. But then underneath, I'm going to have to cut those supports out underneath the countertop and figure out how to try to support it back so that the dishwasher is just barely going to slide up under this cabinet if I can make it work. I already lowered the legs as far as they would go on the dishwasher. That's the only thing I can think of. So hopefully I don't totally ruin these countertops. I'm trying to remove all this bracing in the apron on the front. So I'm going to try doing that. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, I've got sawdust in my eyes. So I managed to get it in there. I had to go back and cut out this entire apron and the supports under the countertop, which makes it kind of weak. I've got to figure out some way to put a block of wood or something under there to help support that. But I'm going to have to go back and add some trim, just kind of close it up. And because I had to cut the apron out, now I don't have a place to screw my little brackets in. So I'm thinking of putting just a little bit of maybe an inch, whatever I can get, an inch and a half maybe of trim up under behind this counter where it rolls down, so I can attach this and support it. But anyway, I just wanted to show you, did get the dishwasher in. It is under the cabinet now, and it's hooked up. The power's hooked up, the water's hooked up, the drain's hooked up. We're good to go. I hope it's helped you some. Maybe you won't make some of the mistakes that I made. Maybe it'll be a little easier for you. So God bless you. Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe, share, and I love you. God bless you. Bye.